What is that?
I don't know.
What's up, Ghostbusters?
Hey.
So what comes first? You ask your dad, can I direct a new one? Or your dad asks you?
Certainly my father always thought that it'd be a good idea if I made a Ghostbusters film, and I shied away from it. My father cast a large shadow, Ghostbusters cast a large shadow, and I was certainly scared to pick up the proton pack. But that's what this movie became about. Ghostbusters Afterlife is about a family developing the courage to pick up the proton pack themselves.
What goes through your mind? You get the call that says you're going to be in Ghostbusters.
My dad was running around the house, this grown man running around the house screaming like a little girl. And I was just like, yes! My mom, we were all just dancing around the house, and I was just stoked because I watched this movie since I was really young, and so it's been a big part of my life.
I loved it. And I remember thinking it's scarier than I was anticipating.
Really?
I figured it was going to be funny because I loved everybody that was in it.
It's sort of like the cozy blankie of the 80s. I mean, I was 3 when the original movie came out, and so nobody took me to the theater to see it, but it was always on television. So it's so much a part of my DNA. I couldn't have imagined for one second that I'd ever be sitting here talking about it. And now I'll be talking about it for the rest of my life.
Did you ever look at each other going, we're on the set of Ghostbusters?
Only every day.
Every single day.
Every
I'm like,
single
no
day.
joke,
Yeah.
actually every day. Like, that's something that, like, people like to lie about. We were like, actually, every day we're like, this is crazy. This is crazy.
How important was it to see kids as the Ghostbusters this time?
I don't think it's an accident that I was a kid on the set of Ghostbusters, and that this is a movie about young people picking up that equipment and seeing how it works. It's not an accident that I have a 12-year-old daughter, and at the center of this story is a brilliant 12-year-old girl who is a scientist who uses ghostbusting as a way to stop being an outsider and find a way to be a hero.
I think that's the coolest thing about it, is that this film isn't just for the original Ghostbusters fans, but it's for anybody and everybody, especially people who haven't ever even seen the original films before.
The first idea that ever popped in my head was a 12-year-old girl with a proton pack in a field. And after that, it was a 15-year-old boy finding Ecto-1 in a barn. I knew this was gonna be about a family. I just didn't know whose family. And when Harold Ramis passed away, I just suddenly knew it's the Spengler family.
Did you feel Harold's presence on set, or when you were developing it?
Absolutely. Throughout the writing of the script, I mean, you remember, the first people who ever, read the script were my father and then Harold Ramis's family. Gil Kennan and I were constantly think about, how would Harold write this? What would Harold say? He's a brilliant filmmaker, brilliant comedian, brilliant actor, brilliant storyteller. We feel his loss every day, and we wanted to make a movie that made him proud. And we wanted people to access him one more time through this film.
Logan, let's talk about putting on a Ghostbuster suit, uniform.
Oh, man. You got to start with the legs. You put your feet in, and then you pull it up. And put your arms in. And I was like, this is pretty cool.
I cried.
Yeah,
My
I
favorite
don't
part
know.
is that mine is oversized and they didn't try to fit it to me. My cuffs are all rolled up because,
great.
it's supposed to be one of the original suits. And so that was really special to me. That made my heart really happy.
They're supposed to be like old and kind of oily and gross. And they put the proton pack on and you're holding, it's like, that's crazy.
It's so heavy.
When you finally saw the ghosts and these demons and these creatures, were they what you thought they would look like?
Well, what's amazing about this film is that so much of that was practical. We were interacting with a lot of those special effects, which is what makes the movie feel so nostalgic and like such an old school movie-going experience, because so much of that stuff was in the room with us. And as an actor, it's just so much more fun. That fuel for your imagination makes your job so much easier. And I just feel like that's not something that we do now. So I can't believe I got to make a movie that way, and I'm so grateful to Jason for letting me do that. But of course, the mini puffs and all that, they're so adorable, they're so cute.
I saw someone posted something after last night and they were like, review of the movie, Muncher, Innocent. The
That's
movie
so
was
funny.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was great. Muncher was so cute. Oh my gosh, I felt so bad for him.
How hard is it to keep all the secrets? Because there's a lot, this is like Easter eggs on steroids. Paul, how do you keep those secrets? Or it's easy because you want to
I've had practice.
Yeah, right. You can't talk about anything ever.
It's really exciting, and we actually got to show it at Comic-Con last night, and so to see it in an audience of fans of the original was just amazing, because they were reacting to some Easter eggs that like I didn't even know was there in the first place.
I am still discovering Easter eggs to this day because every crew member was hiding stuff on set. This is a movie made by Ghostbusters fans. I'm talking about everyone from the props guys and set decorators were hiding things, all the way down to the sound mixers and sound designers who were going back into the original film and digging up all the original sound files, from the siren of Ecto 1 to the sounds of proton packs firing up and PKE meters, and even the music. We're going back and we are unearthing original piano tracks, own Martineau tracks that find their way into the original score.
What I love about the film is that as much as it is this new Ghostbusters, it feels like the original Ghostbusters, but it doesn't feel I don't know how to explain it. It just feels fresh.
That was the plan. I mean, you had Jason and Ivan both working together to make the perfect Ghostbusters movie, and it turned out so well.
So how do you separate the dad from the guy who started this legend?
If your parents came with you to your job and weighed in on all of your creative decisions, you know, that might get a little much at sometimes. I had the world's foremost Ghostbusters expert and one of the great storytellers of all time sitting next to me on set, making me a better filmmaker. And while yes, we had to navigate how they're to be father, son, and producer-director at the same time, it became the experience of a lifetime.
Now, do you call him Dad on set, or do you call him Ivan?
The only thing you don't want to say is, Dad! Like, you don't want to say it like that. So you gotta find a way to adjust your tone and have conversations in a producerial way. Last night, my father and I sat next to each other at New York Comic-Con with 3,000 people. My father yelled to the audience, "Who are you gonna call?" And they all yelled back, "Ghostbusters." It's the greatest gift I could ever give my father. I am honored that I get to experience with him.
I mean, is it better than your bar mitzvah?
Yeah, it's way better than my bar mitzvah. Are you kidding me? I was this 13-year-old nerdy dweeb who couldn't dance at my bar mitzvah. So that was, you know, my voice cracking as I was reading, you know, the story of Noah. This is way better. Now we're ghostbusting.
How many more Ghostbuster stories are in your mind that you're planning?
Anyone who grew up watching Ghostbusters has always thought of Ghostbusters movies they want to see. And certainly, there's something to Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's a bit of a fan film. I mean, this is literally the movie that was probably playing in my head as a kid. I want to see more. I want to see Ghostbusters films from all my favorite directors.
We're ready to believe you.
We're closed.